I wasn't going. I wasn't into fucking that kind of music. I wasn't into drugs. Still not into drugs. Um, but
Wasn't into drugs yet.
yeah. But
All right. We good? We're rolling. Episode 24 of the Fair Enough podcast. Bob here in Detroit. Michael, fresh haircut in Chicago. The boys are going to be in Grand Rapids in a couple days for a wedding.
Hell yes.
So one of the very few times that we're going to see each other this summer, live and in person. And it's going to be a banger. But today we are doing a little bit of some what ifs, some hypothetical talking. Basically just sports hypotheticals. What could have happened if this happened? What could have happened if that happened? And then a little bit of some live talk, just because we got to talk about
It's not getting talked about enough, right?
It's not. Sorry. It's not getting talked about enough. Yeah, you're right. It's being over talked about, but we need to put our little 2 cents into it too. So
I agree.
Of course.
We'll do. Yeah.
Naturally.
So like I said, we'll do a little bit hypothetical to kick things off, and then we'll do some live talk, maybe some other sports talk at the end. But we'll take you into your weekend here. So as usual, the Fair Enough podcast is brought to you by Rogue Creative. Shout out to John and the Rogue Creative team. Anything that you need when it comes to marketing or graphic design for your small business, go to roguecreative.org. You can also follow John and Rogue Creative on Instagram. That's at roguecreative_. And if you are a real estate agent and you need anything when it comes to pictures of your listing or a video walkthrough for your listing, call John and the Rogue Creative team. They're going to do everything that you need at half the cost of the big guys, and they're going to do an even better job when it comes to quality. So shout out to Rogue Creative. That's roguecreative.org or roguecreative_. You can reach them with any of your small business marketing needs. So how are we doing, Michael?
I'm getting through. I'm all right, man. I'm happy, I think.
You good? I like your hat.
Yeah, thanks, man. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, that's sick. I was going to ask you what the logo is. It's really sick, actually. I love that.
Absolutely. I was fucking browsing the internet and I saw it. I'm like, God damn it. And I was like, I got to buy it. So I bought it.
So that's like a 101.
I don't think it's a 101. I got it off of PacSun.com. It's a new era PacSun hat. So
I've never seen anybody wear it.
So, I mean, yeah, because that's just, nobody has the balls to actually buy it. That's the type of hat it is. You're like, man, that's a dope hat, but who the fuck's ever going to buy that?
It's a good fit, though. I like those kind of hats. It's like, so a lot of people hate like the taller crown hats.
Yeah, no, like the A frame, I think they're calling it
I like
nowadays,
those.
the kids. I think it's in style. I think it's a comfy
definitely
hat.
In style now.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
And I enjoy it. I think it's a good fit too, because there's like a natural curve. Like, I'll get fitted still and bend the brim, but the curve isn't as good as like these. Jesus, these curves are so nice and like just pure right off the bat. You don't really have to work them too much, so it's a lot nicer. It's a lot nicer, just little curve even. So it is a nice fit. I enjoy them.
Yeah, that's sick.
You know what website you should go on if you like hats like that are it's called Culture Kings.
I've seen them on Instagram.
Bro, they're legit. I have one hat of theirs, and like I've browsed the internet of it so many times. They got so many cool ass hats on there that are like
they sell New Era hats and shit.
Yeah. Mitchell Ness, New Era. I mean, all the big dogs.
I was looking at some of their hats today because they have like the weird, like I was looking at a Mariners hat that they had today. It was like a weird off green, but it had a sick like 20th anniversary patch or something like that on the side. But it was really cool.
Yeah, sick as fuck. But yeah, I'm fucking. What's today's date? The Wednesday. I'm 8 days post-op. I'm kind of walking already. Braced up. Supposed to be on crutches, but I mean it's feeling better. I'm getting, I got a long way to go, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. Physical therapy really went well yesterday. In terms of like where my head was at. So I'm pretty excited. It sucks,
optimistic.
Obviously. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm telling you, like I was super nervous going in there because I'm like, dude, they're gonna wrench me around, blah blah blah, and like that it gave me a bunch of confidence though, like because like I was afraid to move my knee where she moved it, but like then she fucking wrenches me, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is this is only a week in, and she's already moving it, bending it to this point. Like I was like, oh well, maybe it could go that far, like even though it hurt a little bit, but like when you hurt yourself, you're afraid to really like push the limit, and it kind of just naturally comes back.
Yep.
Old girl though, she's like, no, we're gonna do what it's supposed to do now. Like, so it definitely, like I said, it's given me a lot of confidence, and like it sucks, but I think it's gonna be beneficial, and it's actually gonna end up being beneficial for the podcast. I think because small but news that I don't know if we're supposed to be saying yet, but we might have a schedule change up shortly, within the next week or so.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think that we should.
Yeah, we'll discuss all the details probably on the next week's episode, but yeah, I think it's just all gonna be good, man. It's all gonna be good.
It's gonna work out for everybody.
Yeah, how you doing over there, Big Bob?
I'm good, man. I little pool day today because it was hot as fuck.
Yeah, so, dude, this weather.
Yeah, went out to the pool, had a couple 2-tree pops. There are a billion people out there, so it was a great time as always. And then literally ran in here 20 minutes ago to start this thing. So
I bet you that pool water was just piss warm because it's just so many bodies and so much heat.
It was warm. It was like the air and the pool were the same temperature today.
Yeah, sure. I can imagine.
And my face is my face is so red.
You're just a tomato, bud.
I am. It's a tough look. I was like, dude, we're going to this wedding. I can't get any like tan lines today. So hopefully my hat tan line isn't too prominent. But yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Max is fucking up a log on the couch here. Nothing I can do about it. It just is what it is. It's a piece of wood. It's getting all over the couch. It's just the life that I live.
Fuck it. No big deal, eh?
So these hypotheticals.
Okay.
Did you get some time to put some thought into these? There's one very blatant and obvious one that I think that you're going to say right off the bat. I hope anyway.
There's two very obvious ones, I think. Well, maybe not obvious for you, but one which it's worldwide obvious. And then I have another one for sure that to me I think is pretty obvious for any Chicago fan.
Okay.
So Let's
go back and forth a couple of these, but I want you to go first with your worldwide obvious. Everybody.
I mean, if Derrick Rose never gets hurt, he's the best point guard ever. I mean,
okay, it's just a fact. It's a fact.
So I mean, and I do think that the Bulls, that team wasn't phenomenal, but that team was championship ready at that time, and the Bulls might have had a championship in 2011 or whatever it was when he won the MVP.
Yep. That was an interesting time in the NBA, too, because it was the LeBron Heat.
Yeah.
It was because 11 was when the Mavs won. They beat the Heat. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Because 2010 was who the fuck was 2010? I forget. But it was right around that time. I know the Mavs won in 11, but Derrick Rose won MVP in 2010, right?
Okay, then 2010. So that year, that was the year, dude. Like, I mean, everything was there. Like, we had the bench mob, we had fucking Rose in his prime. You had Lou Aldang's your sweet fucking savvy vet. Joakim Noah still playing at a super high level. Carlos Boozer was the most useless four in the game, but he'll get you fucking 20 points and some energy. So it's like the team was just so good and such a stacked Eastern Conference too. But like they were like if they were ever gonna beat LeBron that year or a year, like that was the year. I think.
Right.
I don't know though. Like once again, hypothetical. Who the fuck knows? I know how it feels now. I've torn my ACL.
I was gonna bring that up. Like, what do you think? Like what was going through his mind? Do you think when he heard the same noise that you heard?
I don't know, man. As a pro athlete, I don't know. And the fucked up part is that was at a time like now, like we've talked about it in the past. These ACL surgeries, dude. It's like you're out for less than a year. You're playing at the highest level of any sport in the world. But at that time, I don't think it was as mainstreamed. And I think, like when I went down, I mean, I absolutely knew it. Like I knew it. Like there was not a doubt in my mind that I did not tear something, and I thought it was ACL.
Mm-hmm.
So like he had to have, I mean, it had to be just instantly right off the rip. You're like, hey, like it's all pain, pain, pain. But like the next like 20 minutes, you're probably like, I just won the MVP. We're one of the best teams in the league. We had it. We had this game in hand. I was a fucking rebound shy of a triple double, and that's why I'm still in. Maybe rumor has it Tibbs didn't leave him in for the triple double, but at the same time, it's like,
Was
why
that
the
when
fuck?
he tore it?
Yeah,
He was playing the game too long.
yeah, we were up like 20 with like 3 minutes left, and
See, I don't really remember every detail of it.
no, I don't remember every single, but it was something along those lines. There was not a lot of time left. We were up, game in hand, game in absolute hand. He was, I think, like a board or an assist shy of getting a triple double. And I don't know if there was a discussion between the two of them that he was like, "Hey, let me go get this triple dub," or "Hey, or like, hey, I don't know, but it's a crazy thought. Like,
I hope it wasn't him that said that. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I want to go get this, and then he has to live with that the rest of his life. Where
Yeah.
like, if I didn't just if I just would have sat down like I know that I should have.
Well, and the thing too is that, like, dude, you saw the way his career went into like absolute downward spiral, and there was like mental parts too. Like, it was a lot of him like not knowing, like, so maybe there was, I don't know, but there is, I mean, it's historically known at this point that Tom Thibodeau fucking works his players. He rocks his starters, like that's what he does, man, and his starter.
They said
players.
that in when he was in New York too, right? That was like
They
the
said
big
that
thing.
they said that with Jimmy. They said that when he was in Minnesota with Jimmy. They say that about Julius Randle. Like, yeah, it's just like it's his thing. I mean, he rocks. He fucking works his starters, and I don't know. I think we had the start of a dynasty, and
I think
just
so
all
too,
ripped away, man.
Last thing on D Rose is like he's one of those guys that he was a lovable. He was the people's champion. Like nobody could ever hate. He was like the Tiger Woods of basketball. Like nobody is ever gonna be mad. Like whenever D Rose popped off with the T-Wolves, when he popped off with the Pistons, like people were fucking rooting this guy on every single night.
He was everyone's favorite player. But also too, it's funny like the way he carried himself too. Like, you ever see the video of when they're announcing the All-Star starters?
Oh, and,
like they're all going crazy, and D Rose just sitting there like stone face.
Yep.
Like, hey, let's play this game. Like, I'm ready to play in the All-Star game. Like, his demeanor was just so South Side of Chicago. It was just like, it was just, that was just his shit, and he was fucking, I don't know, he was that guy, and
he was Stuart Scott, as cool as the other side of the pillow, man. Like that was fucking D Rose.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like I said, that was worldwide obvious.
That's number one. That was easy number one.
Yeah. Easy.
Yep. Mr. Worldwide. I think worldwide obvious for Detroit is, what if we take Melo instead of Darko in 03? If we take Melo, it's Chauncey, Rip, Tayshaun, Big Ben, Melo, because we never go get Sheed.
Well, wasn't the thing though something like where Melo actually didn't want to play in Detroit because he would have had to sit on the bench for a year, and he wasn't having that?
I think he was worried about how good the team already was.
Yeah.
But fuck, man. I mean, let's get real. Like, he knows that he would have started on this team. Even if he doesn't start on this team, like he comes off the bench for half the year, but he starts eventually.
Yeah.
Because he just ends up being Melo. And who knows what happens, man? Because that was 03, so they play the 03 season. The draft was in the summer, so they play the 03 season. Who knows what they do? But 04, they won the championship anyway.
Yeah.
But dude, they could have made a run. Like they could have won 3 or 4 times between 04 and 2012. with that team. They would have kept everybody together.
My thing with the Melo thing is, so like now after seeing pretty much the entirety of Melo's career, I know he hasn't retired yet, but he plays a 6-man off the bench for a shit Lakers team.
Right.
I think he had a great year in Portland last year. Like his role was perfect. He averaged like 12 points a game. He just chucked up threes, And then, he went to LA and that team was just a dumpster fire. But after seeing his whole career now, he's a bona fide loser. He's bona fide. Like, he has not won shit. And he's not even really been close, to be honest. He's been to playoffs a couple times. Do you think that he brings that team down and you don't even win one in 04? Because, like, I know, where it's like, I know, like, he cut the Nets down at Syracuse, but he never figured it out in the pros.
Right.
And I don't know, like, does he make that team worse, actually? Because they were so good. They were so close.
Well, yeah, it's interesting because they're almost like, it's almost kind of like that 2011 Mavs team where they kind of had superstars. They had Dirk and Jason Terry and those guys, but they were like such a close team where like Jason, the Pistons, I guess the Pistons were like, they were such a one-off where nobody was a star. Chauncey kind of, Big Ben kind of, like Rip definitely not. People loved Rip, but he wasn't a star. Tayshaun definitely wasn't a star. Sheed was just loud. So if Melo comes in and needs the ball all the time, maybe, I don't know, maybe they do fuck around and not win because they just don't, they're not playing as a team as much.
I mean, that dude, like that also, like that was an era of basketball, like where, like, other than maybe Kobe and Shaq and like obviously a well put together Spurs squad.
Yep.
There were no like, hey, like I have 2 superstars. Like,
no.
You know what I mean? Like, barely. There was not that many. And even when they did, Shaq only stayed in LA for how many years?
Right.
Like, so it's like that you didn't need to have that type of squad. Like, where it's like, if you have 4 fucking, I mean, Chauncey, I mean, everything he did speaks for itself. I mean, Big Ben as a defender, you're like, oh, okay.
Elite.
But like, in the other guys, like, they all just did a little bit of things so well. And they did a lot of other shit right. Not necessarily great, but it's like they just did everything right. So it's like that was a cool era of basketball that it was like, oh, every year, like there was the same teams in it, but like you didn't really know who was going to win it other than the like, it's like, even though LA did 3-peat at the time and like the Spurs won a couple, you still didn't know who was going to win it. You know what I mean? It was like there was 8 teams that you're like, oh, hey, these guys all, that's kind of how the league was this year, which I loved.
Yeah. It makes better basketball, more watchable.
Melo, I just don't know if he's just a cancer, like especially when he was young. I don't know if he was just a cancer or, they didn't put enough around him in Denver. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, to me, as if I was a fan, I would be a little bit upset, but also you got one.
Oh yeah. You're not, I don't know. I could never be mad. Like, the going to work Pistons are a legendary, like, Sheed needed to be a part of that team. Like, he fit the mold so perfect. And I think because Larry Brown, obviously an insanely good coach, but having, I don't know how Larry Brown would have dealt with the Melo situation, Like you said, I don't know how he would have gelled with the entire team. Like, it was such a together badass unit. Like, they held the Lakers to fucking 80 points a game. Like, that's insane. I
agree.
So I don't know.
And it's like, you know what it is too? It's not only if you would have drafted Melo, it's if old boy could have just been anything.
Darko?
Just anything as an NBA player. Where you're like, motherfucker, dude.
Brutal.
That, which it's like both sides. You're like, fuck. Yeah, that's, best draft class ever, pretty much.
Yeah, it was Darko, then it was, I'll read them off to you right in a row. It was Darko, then Melo, then Chris Bosh, then Dwayne Wade. Then Kirk Heinrich to Chicago.
Kirk Heinrich, legend. Absolute
Low-key,
legend.
yeah.
Legend,
Dude,
dude.
Michael Petrus was in this draft. Nick Collison. There were some names in that draft, man. David West.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was a squad.
Yeah. What do you got? What do you got for your next one? Dude, Kyle Korver was at the end of that draft.
This is a Cubs thing, but I think so. This is a combination of two things. It's Game 6 of the 0-1 fucking NL the National League fucking the pennant or whatever.
Yeah, championship series, NLCS.
So it's like the whole Moises Alou thing, the Bartman.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, this is what happened, right? So Bartman gets in the way. That would have ended the inning, right? Everyone's all butthurt. Next pitch or next at bat or next pitch, fucking Alex Gonzalez. You've never heard of him because he sucks dick. Shortstop booties a ball right in his glove. Guess what? That was it. So then they win because the guy couldn't get out of the inning on that play. And then we lose in the next game or whatever, or however it went. I always get games mixed up because back in the day they were pretty good.
So the Bartman essentially threw that whole game into
a
spiral.
We don't go to the World Series. The Marlins end up winning it. Your boy Mickey gets a ring.
Yep.
And I think the Cubs would have won that World Series, man.
You think? Who did the Marlins play in that World Series?
Didn't they play the Tigers?
No. Not in 03. The Tigers went to the World Series in 06, got swept by the Cardinals.
I don't know. I'm not sure who they played against. But either way, I think that we win that fucking championship. And I know we end up getting one in 16 and it is what it is. Oh, they played the Yankees.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it was like David and Goliath.
Yeah. I don't know. So it's like my whole life would have literally been so much different because like I shit you not. It's
you
so
were a child in 2003.
Yeah. So it's like my whole life. It's like I would have been like, oh, I have a
I have a championship. It's so weird to think.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, I don't know. And like then the Sox won in 05. So you're like, fuck, man. Like, so it's like, fuck, are these assholes going to have one and I'm not ever going to win one? And like the Cubs were brutal for a minute. Like they were real good. They were real solid throughout the 2000s. 2010s were a little sketchy in the beginning. And then, we got back to it. And now we suck again. But like, I think if we have a ring in 03, I'm just not as upset about not having one for another, where it's like,
right,
we got one. But I do think, though, if that play doesn't happen and this dickhead doesn't miss the next fucking ground ball to shortstop, I think they win that series and potentially win the World Series. And then fucking, I don't know. Like, so that's my thing is pretty much my hypothetical is if the Bartman thing never happened, do we win the World Series? Yep. And I don't know. Not sure.
My next one is, I mean, we could just do a couple here. So this next one is the pinnacle of my Lions misery. This is the most mad I've ever been watching a game. This is what, when I think about Lions football, this is what keeps me up at night. And it is January 4th, 2015.
I hate that you know the date.
The Lions are playing the Dallas Cowboys in a playoff game. This was the best Lions team that I've ever seen. They had Ndamukong Suh, Nick Fairley on the defense. Like they had the defense was unstoppable for the first time. I've never seen a defense good in Detroit, right?
Yeah.
We get to play the Cowboys.
Did you guys win the division that year? No, right? That was Green Bay.
We have to go to Dallas. Green Bay won because Dallas went to Green Bay in the next game.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have this game kind of in the bag.
Yeah.
Granted, everybody played like shit in the fourth quarter, but we kind of had it in the bag. And there was a no call pass interference that was maybe one of the worst in football. This linebacker for Dallas, Anthony Hitchens, was all over Brandon Pettigrew, who was Lions tight end at the time. Back turned to the football, hands up in Brandon Pettigrew's face, like over his shoulders. No call, which is fine. That shit happens in the NFL all the time. Like, there's going to be no calls. You're going to have to eat that. What made it worse is that there was like a discussion kind of between the refs, like, hey, maybe we should call this, maybe we shouldn't. Matt Stafford is like freaking out, obviously. Dez Bryant, the Cowboys are on defense. Remember this. Dez Bryant runs onto the field past the numbers from the sideline,
which is
no helmet. No helmet.
Yeah.
Like, screaming at the refs. So not only did they miss this pass interference, but because they're discussing something and they're like just not paying attention, Dez is screaming in their face.
Yeah,
and he's on the field, which he can't be with no helmet on.
Yeah.
That sends us into a spiral. Lions lose the game. I'm still sitting here at 27 years old, have not seen a playoff win because of that. Like, they had that game in the fucking bag. And then some stupid shit like that happens, and it's like, I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
No, I mean, I have a very the funny part is that about that game, it's like it almost that. So remember when they did the reviewing of pass interference in 2018 or something like that?
Yep.
Roughly. It's almost like that legit. It seemed like that play kind of like put that rule into place. No joke.
That's what the Lions do, dude. That's what Calvin did in Chicago with the catch rule.
Well, that was insane too, bro.
That's what I'm saying. The Lions make rules up. But that's what they do. They put rules in the rule book.
And then didn't Dez actually have a catch like that against the Lions?
No, in the next game against the Pack. Game.
Yeah. That was trash, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I also fuck the Cowboys, where it's like,
fuck the Cowboys, dude. I mean, like, people are like, oh, dude, like I do hate the Packers. I hate them a lot.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But it's Packers Cowboys are. It's not even 1-2. It's 1-1A. Like, it's
and then of course, and it's funny you say that because then it's like, oh, guess who goes to the fucking Cowboys after coaching the Packers forever? Yeah, Mike. You're like,
right.
Fuck you,
fuck Mike McCarthy.
Yeah,
douchebag,
douchebag.
All a douche.
Yeah, that no call was it was insane. Honestly, you're just like, and I don't give a fuck personally. Not my team's this or anything, but it's like, sometimes it's just so easy. And also, dude, you can pick the fucking flag up, but
make the call, dude. I said, when Dez runs onto the field without a helmet, you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah,
and that's a first down.
Yeah, I mean,
we win the game.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a heartbreaker, especially because like at this point too, like you guys, they didn't get any better since then. They've had some okay, but like
we haven't had a good team since then, I would say.
Pretty much. So it's like, and it's like that's just one of those things where you're like, God damn, I thought we were looking up, and now we're looking.
That was the closest we've ever been. I would have felt great going to Lambeau that next week. I would have felt great.
Yeah.
Like a real chance to actually win that game.
And also win or lose too. You're like, okay, this is a huge step, like a ginormous step.
Yeah.
And
ever since then, like you said, it's just been backwards. We've gone the wrong way. 2016 and beyond, we've gone the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're hopefully, all prayers to MCDC, going the right way.
Yeah. I kind of
got one more.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same concept. Best defense in the league.
Please tell me you're going with
the double doink.
Yes, dude.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like you couldn't make it up. That's the fucked up part about that whole thing is you couldn't make it up only because he just was so bad. Like he was missing kicks all the time, and you're like, all right, dickhead. like just one fucking
this one.
make.
Just
Yeah,
this
like
one.
just this one. And it's like Matt Nagy's a cock too. Let me just tell you that. Because if Matt Nagy wasn't such a cuck of a coach, and that was the year he won, like, oh, I'm such a good coach. Fuck that guy. If he would have just let Mitch fucking play football that whole game until, except for the last drive of the game when Mitch drove down in fucking 5 plays to get him in the field goal range with a minute and a half left, let the kid fucking play. If he's going to lose, let him lose the game. Don't fucking dink and dunk your way into fucking 3rd and fucking 8 every goddamn time, punt the ball away and go, have this nail biter. Either lose or fucking win, but that's beside the point. Like that just changed, like, that changes the whole career path of Mitch, I think, because then he gets hurt next year and then all of a sudden he's written off because, he was bad. But like, that defense is starting to get older, but at the time it's like, oh, this is the best, it's the best defense in the league. Like we had 11 wins or whatever. Like they were just good. They were good enough to beat any good offense. Granted, who knows if the offense shows up for the Bears, but yeah, that's one of those things where like literally it was me and my older brother and my dad. We're sitting there. We're doing like the fucking arm link fucking thing, like college basketball players.
They're just literally trying to will this thing in.
And you watch it go up and you're just like, and literally like no bullshit. It was so synchronized. It was just like all of our heads were just like all at once. Like no words were said. I literally just I walked out of my dad's room and I'm like, I didn't say a word for like legit a half hour. Neither did he. And then I come in there like that, after like a half hour and I'm like, did that just happen? Like, did that really just happen? Like,
they could have went back to the Super Bowl too, man.
Yeah, they could
just riding that defense easily. I mean, that's the nature of the beast of the NFL. Like,
yeah,
you can make a run.
It's honestly like it's one of the craziest like thought like in your head where you're like, this is your job and you've been nothing but bad at it. Just please figure it out one time for the whole fucking city, please.
God, poor guy.
And not only did he miss it too, like there's a name for it now because it hit both posts. Man. Where it's like
the double doink.
Yeah, it couldn't have been. It literally couldn't have been any worse in terms of like just the whole situation. Like it's so funny though.
It's the tuck rule. It's the miracle in Minneapolis. It's all that. It's the double doink. Sure. Like it's gonna live forever in infamy. Unfortunately for Cody Parkey.
The fact that he got a job after that blows my mind. And he was like kind of good for the Browns, for the Browns. Like,
the Browns.
That blew my mind.
He got the kick there. I mean, just didn't go in. That's what the Browns thought was.
Crazy.
What was there? I got one last one. It's kind of, we'll just go honorable mention. It's kind of a weird one because it's something that we almost did too well. So in 2012, obviously the Tigers were discussing. They had basically 5 Cy Young winners on the pitching rotation between Scherzer, Verlander, Porcello, Anibal, Sanchez. But in 2012 in the ALCS,
David Price was on that team or no?
Who?
Was David Price on the team yet?
He might have been the next year.
But he wasn't drafted by them and shit, right?
No, I think that was 2014 when we had David Price. No, David Price was drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Did we? Was this that weird era where we had what was that? What was that last guy's name? Smiley or something?
Drew Smiley. I couldn't tell you if he was on the team or not.
He's on the Cubs.
He would have been a bullpen guy. He would have been a roto guy. But the team was disgusting. It was Victor Martinez was like one of the worst players in the lineup. He was a god. Like we had Prince Fielder, Cavi. Like it was just a disgusting team.
Was this the year that what's his name won the Triple Crown or whatever the fuck that's called?
I can't remember. No, I don't think he won it in 2012. It might have been 2014 that he won the Triple Crown. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. Look that up, Jack, while I'm talking here. But in 2012, in the ALCS, the Tigers swept the Yankees 4-0.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I think in baseball, a sweep almost works to your disadvantage if you're waiting too long. Because the Giants went 7 games with whoever they were playing before. So we played them, and, they had, 2 or 3 days rest before we started playing. We had a week off. And then we go and we get swept by the Giants. And I personally still to this day think it's because they were just consistently playing baseball and the Tigers had too much time off. I don't think that pertains or translates to many other sports. I think the Avs will be fine even though they swept the Oilers.
Yeah.
I think they'll be fine because you can get your legs back. But I feel like baseball is just such a rhythm game that if you're taking too much time off, you lose it.
No, I think that hockey it could be that way too. I mean, look at case in point. Look at the Tampa Rangers series. They lost the first 2 games and it looked like they were slow. But that also isn't that's something that you can get back very quickly in hockey. But yeah, no, baseball. It's you're not seeing. Granted, I don't know what their practices and shit look like. But yeah, you're not seeing live pitching. You're not seeing certain counts and this that, and the other thing. You're not throwing to hitters and working your shit as well. So I definitely think that basketball is the only one that you're yeah, let's sweep. We don't need to play for fucking
right.
But yeah, I think baseball healthy. Definitely a sweep does. And it's weird because obviously you can't blow games, but what are you gonna do? I do think that kind of not about what you were saying, but I do think that it's bullshit that so okay, the Avs sweep, right? And this is just because this is what happened. And then they had to wait, the Lightning won on game 6 on Sunday or Saturday, maybe? Saturday?
Might have been Saturday.
So it's okay, they went on Saturday and they have to wait all the way to, fuck that. It's not our fault the Lightning went to 6. Right. Let's go. It's fucking 2 days. Get your ass to fucking Colorado and let's play hockey.
And 3 extra days.
That's what I'm saying. 6 extra days because it's so it's oh, so we still gotta wait even longer and they get more rest now because I feel it's well, the fuck is the point of sweeping other than the fact that you have a chance of losing still
right.
But
yeah, I mean that's just a big what if. If maybe we go 7 with the Yankees and maybe we're a little bit more not fresh but fresh baseball wise playing the game more. Not that the Giants team was, they were disgusting.
No
Pablo
slouch.
Sandoval hit 3 dingers in the first game. It was fucking over before it started. But yeah, just tough.
It's definitely
what if.
That's the thing too with any loss. Literally every single loss, you go and you look at the big picture. You look at the big outlying thing. Oh, the double doink. Oh, this no call. But it's then you can also be oh, well, why didn't you fucking play this better or do this better? And it's but yeah, there's always that one thing where you're man, this one play would have changed the whole fucking world, I feel like that happens a lot. Or a baseball player makes an error and it would have got you out of the inning or something. And then the next guy steps up and hits a home run and you're
what's his face? Isn't that Gibson that lost one through the wickets for the Dodgers?
No, that was it was Jay Buhner, I thought. It was, I think it was Jay Buhner. I thought it was for Boston.
No, it was Kirk Gibson, I thought, for LA.
Oh, well, maybe it's both.
Maybe it is both. Do you have any honorable mention shitty things to happen to you? What ifs?
What if Marian Hossa never has to retire early?
Dude, I was gonna bring that up for the Wings. What if Marian Hossa stays on the Red Wings instead of goes to the Pens?
Well,
do we win another cup in 2009?
Maybe. I don't know. His whole career path, that's the craziest 3 years of hockey ever. Right? Because he loses to the Pens, right? With the Wings.
He loses. No. In 2008, he was playing for the Pens, loses to the Wings. In 2009, he's playing for the Wings, loses to the Pens.
And then 2010 goes to the Hawks and wins one. That's the craziest 3 years in hockey ever for one player. So it's like
if he didn't win in 10 with the Hawks, he would have killed himself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's like, and the thing that sucks, so it's like, okay, I don't remember the exact year. I think it was like 16. I think the end of 16, he got hurt or some shit and missed time. And then all of a sudden in like 17, he doesn't come back. And you're like, what's going on? He has some condition that he like can't play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're still in the middle of a fucking dynasty, you know? We're, like everyone is there. Sharpie's like the whole squad's there. And Hossa was the glue. I don't care what anyone says. Hossa was the glue, man. He was the fucking vet. He the way he handled the puck was just like it was just on a string for him. Like he did a lot of things right.
The guy just knew how to score goals, man. He was just nasty.
Yeah, exactly. He's pivotal on the power play. Like he just was a guy that you're like, okay, like. And I know it's hard for like to say like one player is the reason like the downfall, but like it's like we never found the replacement for him. I thought we found Panarin, and then they didn't keep him. But like that's one thing in on Hawks hockey that where it's like, what happens if Marian Hossa doesn't have to retire early? I think that we legitimately could have had a shot for one more at least.
Yeah,
but who knows, man?
Sucks. And he was so dominant for those 3 years in a row. So dominant on each of the three teams that he played on. He was
he's
the
just
best
a
player
good,
on the ice.
He's just good. Exactly. He makes people better around you. He's just a good hockey player. And I know like a lot of like people don't like him because of what he did. Where it's like, oh fuck him, and like I get it if you're a Wings fan or even a Pens fan, but like.
I don't know any Wings fans that have any animosity towards the guy.
Oh, I know two of them, and they're twins, and you know them too.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you expect? But
they're pissed at everybody.
So like, but yeah, it's like fuck, man, what a fucking guy. I actually have a funny story about a Marian Hossa jersey. You want me to tell it?
Yeah, hit me.
So they had EDC Chicago. In like, I don't fucking know, 2013, 2014-ish. And I wasn't going. I wasn't into fucking that kind of music. I wasn't into drugs. Still not into drugs. But
wasn't into drugs yet.
Yeah. But anyways, they all want to do like a Chicago theme, but usually, you just pop the tarps off. They all have fucking Chicago flags, whatever. It was chilly out that day. So they were like, well, we don't want to fucking have our shirts off or anything like that. So they all wore Chicago Blackhawks jerseys. The one kid, he was a buddy of ours, and he's like, man, I don't have a jersey. And I was like, I got this Marian Hossa jersey. It was the fucking the very first Stadium Series, or the very first Crosstown Classic, like the black with the fucking beige. Yeah. And it was just a dope ass jersey. Granted, it was off of like AliExpress. It wasn't legit. It was,
hey,
one of those.
Ali knew how to fucking do it.
Oh yeah, exactly. And
if you've never been to AliExpress.com,
you ain't living.
You can't check it out now.
You're too young.
You're late.
Too young. You're too young for the show, bro.
You're too young and you're too late now.
Yeah, so, definitely too late.
You can get jerseys for $15 and they looked pretty damn good.
Oh yeah. So anyways, I let him wear the jersey because I'm like, fuck it, dude. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, oh, you guys are doing a little theme. And so it's like a week later and I'm like, yo, like, when can I snag my jersey back? And he was like, dude, man, that was like the best night of my life, bro. And I'm like, what?
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm like, okay. He's like, I'll pay you for this jersey. Like, I had just had such the best. It's like when he started dating his like wife to be or whatever. Like, it was just like, he's like, this is like the best day. Like, first time me and this girl hooked up and like they dated forever. And I'm like, okay. And he's just like, I'll buy it off you. And I'm like, because I'm that kind of guy. I was just like,
gave
dude,
it to him.
I was like, you can just have it, bro. Like, if
what a guy.
I was like,
what a guy.
Who am I to take away somebody's memories like that? Like, fuck it. Just take the jersey.
You're not a memory stealer.
No, absolutely not. So I was like, fuck it. This is all you. But like,
you're telling me this guy was wheeling in a Hossa jersey?
Oh, fucking right he was, right? Wheel Snipe Sally, bud.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you want to honor this dude's name, that's a good way to do it.
If it was a Wings Hossa jersey, she would have married him on the spot. Would have been a wrap.
Yeah, she might have.
But yeah, anyways.
I'm gonna start throwing on my Datsuk jersey before I go to the bar.
There you go. You're fucking up.
So,
what side are you on here with the LIV Tour?
I'm on the PGA Tour side.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
I figured you would be. I feel like a lot of people are on the PGA Tour side, except literally everybody except the players that are playing in the LIV are on the PGA Tour side. You know,
listen.
Let me play a little bad cop here.
Okay.
What about the players who don't like the tour, okay, i.e. Sergio Garcia, are going to go, they got to play golf somewhere. And if they don't want to play on the tour, what is so bad about what's going on with LIV?
Listen, Jack. It's not about what's so bad, what's going on with LIV. There's two things. And there's one big thing that I have a problem with. And I don't hate the thought of the LIV Tour. That's cool. It's more golf. It's, it's more opportunity, this and anything. But I'm so sick of people saying this, I really like the format.
I was just going to say, dude.
I really like the thought of this, instead of just saying, hey, there's a shit ton of money to be made that I cannot win on the tour because I'm not as good right now, or I'm never going to be as good. So I'm going to go make my money where it's clearly there's fucking triple the money to be had out there. And you're playing against a lesser fucking field. Stop fucking saying that you just stop lying. Say this is a better fucking financial opportunity for me.
And we're fine with it.
And fuck yeah,
that's
exactly.
The American dream. Is to go and make more money doing something. It's fine.
Literally,
just say it. You don't like that.
Why have none of these athletes come out? Why have none of them come out and admitted that?
Some of them have. Some of the lesser golfers have. It's the JTs. It's the fucking Phil Mickelson. It's the big dogs.
Right.
Or DJ.
I saw the same exact thing though. I saw the same thing on Instagram. It was like, if there's so much press surrounding the LIV right now because nobody knows why the fuck everybody's playing. But if the players just admitted to the fact that they're doing it for the money,
it's obvious.
There would be no press. Dude, that would answer all of the questions.
They just showed the numbers on the last week's PGA Tour. The total purse was like 3.8 mil. Louis Oosthuizen or whatever just won a tour a tournament on the LIV. He won 4.3 himself.
Schwartzel won it all last week, and he had 4.75.
Or Schwartzel. I'm sorry. Yep. Yeah, there you go. That's the number. Schwartzel, not Louis. My bad. But like a guy like Louis, who it's like, you're a good golfer. You're always up there. You're a top 20 guy all the time. He's been just a staple, right? You're getting older. You're kind of past your prime. Why not go play in a league where you have a chance to win more and way more money? It's like everyone likes to win, dude. Like where it's like it sucks when you don't ever win any fucking championships.
That's why I thought it was a no-brainer for Ricky. Easy move for Ricky to go to the LIV. Like the guy hasn't been winning. He hasn't been making cuts. I think he is still.
I thought he wasn't. I thought he was.
No, I thought he was one of the first guys to go. No, I'm pretty sure he was one of the first guys to go.
I'm thinking about Rory. I'm sorry. Rory was talking shit.
Yeah, Rory was talking shit. Ricky hasn't been making any cuts. The guy just hasn't been relevant. Like you said, go somewhere where you have a chance to win and make a bunch of money. Fucking good for you, Ricky. I root him on 100 times out of 100.
I'm a huge Ricky Fowler fan, actually. And he'll go on yeah, true. But he'll go on like a whole year where he's, every other year he's making cuts. He's like top 10 and like get like right there, but never wins. It's like, so he is a good golfer and he is young. Where it's like, why not, dude? Just like, I don't hate the thought of the LIV. I actually like it. There's more, especially if you're a golf fan, there's a shitload more golf with high competition that you can watch now, instead of you're only watching fucking Saturday and Sunday of the PGA Tour, where you're only getting 2 hours of coverage on ESPN and you're getting 2 hours of coverage on the fucking PGA channel. If you want to watch golf, it's hard.
I only have one worry about that aspect of it. So they obviously streamed this last weekend on YouTube for free.
The LIV did?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But they gathered like X amount of dollars to cover the purse for all of the tournaments up until some sort of date. But they need, before that date, a lot of sponsors, right? And they couldn't get any sponsors because of how much heat was surrounding it at first, right? So they had patrons gather this money that they could pay players out with in hopes, I guess, of gaining some sort of, I don't know, credibility that they're not a bunch of scumbags or something. And then my worry here, where I'm getting at with this, is that if they do achieve that and they have a status in the American TV market, the same companies that cover PGA tournaments are going to cover the LIV tournaments, and it just might turn into the same exact shit coverage wise, especially, but I think also in a lot of other aspects. It might just turn into Tour 2.0, or it might be the XFL of football. No clue.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting about it, man. There has been no, I mean, we haven't really seen a competitor in any of the major sports that has worked until now, where they're actually stealing major guys from the mainstay, which is the PGA Tour.
There's never been, and that's not true.
There's never been money behind any of these.
No, you're wrong, because the KHL pays like a motherfucker, and there are some guys that have gone and played in the KHL. Not too many, but what's his name? The kid Kovalchuk. That guy was one of the big ones that he went and made a shit ton of money in Russia, and like there's guys that like, but the KHL hockey's different. They don't give a fuck. But the KHL is a shitload of money. The thing about it is, fuck, I lost my train of thought. With the LIV is maybe that the thing is with the coverage is that they're not going to be on the PGA channel, because guess what? It's not the PGA Tour, so that's not a thing. Right. So they're either going to get some sponsor with like a fucking True TV or a fucking, an ABC network or something like that, where honestly you don't see golf on many channels, PGA Tour golf, unless it's ESPN, because they have a deal with ESPN and the PGA channel. So I don't think there's going to be that much fight for airspace on those channels, because once again, they might make their own fucking channel.
They could. They got the capital to do it.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you is right.
See, this is where they got to figure it the fuck out. You gotta get on the streaming services.
Oh, cable's dying. That's the last place that they should go, is make their own cable channel. They need to figure out how to stream.
You exactly.
That's all they need to worry about.
You get in with one streaming platform, maybe two, or make your fucking own, or do YouTube, whatever. And then I would still try and get on cable. I would still, because think about who watches golf at this point in time.
Old people.
It's older people. They still fuck with cable still.
Yep.
So you got to be on cable TV, but also you jump on a streaming platform that's not ESPN Plus, because that's fucking the PGA has a deal with them.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's gonna be any problems fighting for that. So I disagree with you on that, Jack. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. Money might be a problem for whatever the fuck they're doing, but I think that they'll be just fine in terms of where they're gonna put their tournaments on.
Why do you think that there's gonna be conflicts between one company picking up both tours? Like the Golf Channel plays PGA tournaments sometimes, but they could also play, or like the same with ESPN Plus, or like Fox or whoever else picks up the PGA tournament.
Yeah, but why would I fucked that up. I was saying the PGA channel. I was talking about the Golf Channel. So the Golf Channel will definitely pick up.
I knew what you were talking about.
That's the only one that we'll pick up both. You're right. But I think that the PGA has a deal with ESPN. So why
depends on if it's a whatever it's called, where it's just PGA and just ESPN.
Well, I don't know I don't know. But I'm just saying, why compete on ESPN when you can just go to a different like you can go to fucking Hulu.
I think that market's saturated for sure, golf wise. I don't know. I don't see. I wish my biggest thing is that why not make this free to watch somehow? I think that would be such a cool twist on this tournament, or this this organization is to open it up to more people, since that's kind of what the whole preface of the organization is opening golf up to
nobody's
less.
that dumb though to leave that much money on the table, man.
No, because they know people want to watch it. It'd be interesting if they did something like almost like a Twitch play, where they got into a platform like that, and obviously the ad revenue is still coming in because you have to watch ads, but you, the viewer, can watch it for free. You just have to see these ads.
Yeah.
So you'll still get paid. You'll still get paid without a subscription.
But the thing is, that's why I'm saying you go to something that everyone already has. Like, you know, like Hulu and Paramount, maybe not Paramount, but like HBO Max. Not that they're going to do that, but I think Hulu would be the one to do. Because
Hulu
has
YouTube
live
TV,
sports.
I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Two.
I think those two, I couldn't see why you wouldn't do it. And also think about too, like, okay, think about like what the PGA does on, so like I have ESPN Plus and sometimes I'll watch, they have like the featured groups and shit.
Yeah.
You make it free for just the basic, okay, here's the fucking players, but then you have to have YouTube TV, or you have to have like to watch like featured groups, or like certain all day coverage, because who knows if they're gonna do all day coverage too, like shit like that. Where I think like I think that's what they'll do somewhere along the line. Like, here's a fucking snippet, but if you want the whole fucking sausage, you gotta pay for it, baby boy.
Right.
I have one more problem though that we need to talk about, and I want to ask. So fuck all how they're gonna make money, because they got all of it. What do you think about the shotgun no cuts though? This is what I want to know.
Shotgun no cuts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Every single golfer is going off at the same exact time.
Yeah.
That's what shotgun.
So shotgun, everybody starts on a different hole. So that doesn't really matter to me. I think it's cool because we can see, as long as the coverage is good, that's the biggest part of it, right? Is to be able to see all the golfers. If they're doing a shotgun start and I can't see everybody, then that kind of ruins the whole point. Mm-hmm. But as long as the coverage is good, I don't mind, nor am I going to notice it. Really.
You don't think so, though?
I don't know. It sucks. It does suck to like wait until 3:00 to watch leaders tee off on like a Saturday or Sunday.
No, definitely. I agree.
So that'll be cool to be able to just, all right, everybody's fucking teeing off at noon. Doesn't matter. Yeah. So that's cool.
So before we go into the cut part, so this is the only thing. Okay, so like my thing is like, think about like the biggest courses in the PGA Tour. They all have like signature holes, right? And like there's like certain holes, like you end on 18, and like that's, everyone is ending on 18. Don't you think that you earlier
lose
in your
a little
round,
luster?
Well, yeah, exactly. For one, you lose the luster of like 16 at fucking whatever, it's like
the 17 island, at Sawgrass.
Yeah. So it's like, and also like, I feel like there's a little bit of a disadvantage if you get stuck on the wrong hole to start. Because like, imagine if you got to start on one hole and then you have to end on like a hard par 3 or a hard par 5 or a long par 4, like. But then the guy who has played a really good start, and he kind of he's losing his flow a little bit, but he gets to end on the easiest hole of the day, and kind of like salvage his score. Where it's like, without the shotgun, you start at 1, you end at 18. It's like, listen, everyone has the exact same advantage. You're playing that at the exact same time as you would in your scorecard as everybody else.
Yep.
That's the only thing about the shotgun start that I really don't like. I feel like it's like, I feel like there is an advantage if you're on a certain hole. You know what I mean?
No, I 100% agree with that. I think doing it the normal way, I think waiting is more beneficial to me as the fan than just seeing everybody go at once. Because like you said, like knowing, okay, like this guy might be able to make a run. He's down a stroke, but he's got to play 18 at Waste Management in front of the 40,000 people in the stadium.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So like just shit like that, if that goes away, because that's such a cool part of golf when everybody's waiting on the last tee. Mm-hmm. And I think that everybody going at the same time, everybody's spread out. It's kind of fucked. So Yeah, I agree. I think doing it the way that they're doing it now is way better than what the LIV's doing with the shotgun start. I don't think it's beneficial for a fan unless, like I said, unless the coverage is so good where we're seeing every single shot and everything starts at noon or whatever, then that's cool. But it ruins a Sunday, or in their case, it ruins a Saturday, I think.
And so, like, for the no cut, do you agree with me when I say that you're kind of taking a little bit of the stress out of the golf when you have no cut? Like you don't have to like go for things as much, or like you're like, oh, hey, I gotta get here. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's like they're making it easy on
those golfers that are on the fringe of the cut. It's making life way easier for them, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean that happens to everybody. But like, I don't know. I just feel like it's like, I don't know. I just feel like they're making it very stress free for a lot less, for the golfers. Where it's like, I get it, but like, dude, you're making handsome money to be the best in the world, and like, I think you should have to play under that pressure of having a cut and having, the 18th hole be the 18th hole. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the no cut 3-day tournament is kind of whack, personally.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, it's already sucks that they're only doing 3 days, so it's like a cut's kind of weird anyway.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. Like, I don't think anybody cares enough. How many times are there going to be huge comebacks where these guys who would have gotten cut end up coming back to win?
Well, of course, but
like,
guess what?
Did they even want to be playing golf on Saturday?
Yeah, but the thing
Probably
is, though, dude, like,
not.
That's not always the case, though, where it's like there's usually one outlier that, like, okay, there's a guy who, look at fucking Justin Thomas. He just won that fucking tournament. He was down like 6 strokes, barely made the cut type shit. Where it's like, usually there's one guy that's just way out ahead, like Scotty Scheffler in the last year. You know what I mean? Like, he was just always way out there. But like, there are times where the cut's only 6 strokes off the lead, dude, and you get 2 full rounds to make that up. Like, I don't know. I just think it's like, oh, well, hey, guess what? I would have got cut in the tour, but I'm only fucking 6 strokes off with, 2 rounds left. I can make a run. I don't know. I just think it's kind of lame. That's all.
Whatever. Yeah. It's interesting.
I think it's cool these guys getting money, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm all for everybody getting paid as much as they possibly can. Good Absolutely. For you. I don't have any animosity towards any of the guys that go over and play in the LIV Tour. Like, just like I said, like Ricky, if you're in a place where you think that that's going to benefit you, great. Yep. If you're in a place like John Rahm where you say, I've made enough money, I could retire right now and I'm fine. Mm-hmm. I like playing in the PGA with the status and the legends and being on the same cup as those guys. Mm-hmm. Do that too. Whatever is going to make your life the best, I think that you should do, especially if you're a professional athlete, because they get enough shit as it is. So
yeah, I wonder if this will open up the door for like non-pro sponsored golf brands, because it's like, what do you got? You got your TaylorMade, fucking Ping, Strixon, Titleist, like
Mizuno, Grayson.
Yep. Yeah, like, I wonder if it's gonna open up the door for like, the Instagram fucking guy who's making cheap like good golf clubs for cheap, but like doesn't have any pro sponsorship and shit like that. Like, so you can't advertise them on certain, shit. Like, I wonder if there's gonna be like new shit that'll come into golf because of that, though. You know what I mean?
I think that they should do everything that they can to change the game and embrace it, and that's what it looks
golf's
like.
Expensive, dude.
Oh yeah.
It's real expensive.
And if you're like you said, if you're a TikTok guy that's making sick clubs or whatever, and guys like you, it just all depends on if guys like you or not. Really?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, for sure.
You just need backing from the players, and you're fucking in.
Yeah, I just think that'd be cool too to see like more, just more options for clubs and shit like that. Because fuck these monopoly ass fucking brands. It's like,
paying $1,800 for a set of nice clubs.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, I don't know, whatever. I just, that's something I think about that. Or like that might be beneficial to the world if anything happens like that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, good shit. I'm looking forward to keeping watching and seeing what's happening. Obviously, any drama in golf's awesome. So I've been enjoying it every step of the way. Any last thoughts here, Jack?
No, I'm cooling over here, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I think we covered a lot of the good spots in it. I think only time will tell here, to be honest. We're just going to have to watch this shit play out.
I agree. And we'll continue to talk about it as things develop. But as of right now, I mean, I think it's just kind of to each their own is basically all you can say.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
You know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't.
But if you don't, kind of fuck you. Just let it happen. Hey, buddy.
Right. Yeah. Let it play out.
Play out. Let's see. It might suck, but, somebody's got to try something after a while. If enough people are unhappy with their current situation, somebody's going to pull something out of their ass. So.
Right.
Yeah, I like it, though.
Sweet.
Do you get, do you get ESPN updates?
Me? Yeah. Why? Something just
Christian
happened?
Wood just got traded to the fucking Mavericks for a 2022 draft pick, Boban, Trey Burke, and Marquise Chris. Dude, that is huge for the fucking Mavs, bro.
Oh yeah,
because that's what he needs is some help. Fucking as a big man. Damn, that's wild. Yeah. We'll get into that.
Are we all
good for Luka?
Are we all about to go turn on game one right now, or what?
Yeah, we're at I think they're at intermission right now.
Everybody go.
Real quick before we'll be probably 2 games in at this point by the time this comes out. Or no, 1 game in. What are your predictions, real quick? If you guys have made it this far, you'll know what we're betting.
Avs in 6.
Okay.
Lightning in 6.
You fucker.
I think it's Lightning in 7, personally. But we'll see.
It's going deep, though. I like that we all agree it's going, deep.
I think it's going deep. Yep.
If there's a sweep, I'll be pissed. I'm not going to lie. Because this is like one of the best matchups that we've had in a while where I'm like, damn, these are juggernauts. But anyways, let's sign the fuck off, boys. This is a good episode.
That was a good episode. All right, everybody. We will see you guys next week. Like you said, we might have some schedule changes, but we'll talk to you about that next week. And here's to some more Live Tour drama and fuck the Cowboys.
And to the shippers.
Yep. Happy marriage to the shippers. Cheers to you guys. We'll see you next week. Love you.
Yep.